had unsuccessfully tried to donate it. We did receive one bid for $2,500 from Mr. Tony LaHood, who happens to live next door. And at this time, I make a motion that we approve resolution number 2016-01, authorizing the administration to enter into a sales agreement with Mr. LaHood to sell the property at 828 East London Avenue.
I have a motion from Trustee Cumming.
Second.
Second from Trustee Harn. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, it's for board approval of resolution number 2016-01, authorizing the agreement for the sale of the property at 828 East London, Tony LaHood, as outlined by Trustee Cumming. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter. Aye. Trustee Mariscal.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert. Aye. Trustee Fuller.
Aye. Okay, thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved resolution number 2016-01 as outlined by Trustee Cumming. Next order of new business tonight is ordinance 2016-1483, and that will be presented by Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2016-1483, which will allow us to enter into a redevelopment agreement concerning 4500 North Prospect Road, the old glass specialty building / Sunoco gas station / Amoco gas station from back in the day for our longtime residents. And this development is being undertaken by the Kim Group and potentially will bring 4 to 5 new businesses in a mixed-use development that will include some restaurants, retail, office space, and perhaps another location where you could get a tasty libation in the village.
Okay, we have a motion from Trustee Cumming.
Second.
Second from Trustee Carter. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes?
I have a couple quick questions, maybe a comment or two. First of all, I have a question about the process of this agreement. I don't know if this is a rhetorical question or if I should ask somebody, but this is a 28-page agreement that gives $2 million in close to $2 million in taxpayer subsidies to this organization. And I received it an hour and 5 minutes ago. Is there a reason that we didn't get this agreement last week or sometime before the meeting tonight?
So it was, the draft form was delivered Wednesday night, and it was subject to review by the other party.
Right.
That didn't take place until today. Everything within there we talked about in executive session probably for 2 or 3 months up to this. So
2 or 3 months, we've had 2 executive session meetings about this, and we've had 1 Board of Trustee meeting prior to the public meeting last week. So it wasn't 2 or 3 month timeline. It was less than 2 months. And I just am sort of curious, the other party has a chance to review it, but the Board of Trustees doesn't? Does that seem...
Well, again, none of this proposed agreement is coming out of left field. I mean, these are all pretty much, even though I know you say it's less than 2 months, we have discussed it at length. It has been discussed at length.
The point is not that it's coming out of left field. The point is being given a 28-page document at 5:57 and being asked to vote on it 65 minutes later. And we had a public meeting at 6, which didn't allow for much reading, and I'm not a very fast reader to begin with. So I'm just saying, if a trustee wanted to read this material, they didn't have time. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And I think that's a terrible precedent to set, and I think it's a terrible process. And I think it's untransparent, and I don't know what it is, but I don't like it, okay? So that's, Do you have any, I mean, is that a process that we should adopt here at the Heights, not reading our ordinances that we passed?
Trustee Fuller, you know,
Because
certainly there are facets of what you're saying makes absolute sense. In a perfect world, we would have everything set up the way it should be. This came out later than any of us would have liked. But that being said, there are components within this, the vast majority of the components we have discussed. We knew what was coming. We knew what was in the ballpark on this one.
But it's one thing to talk about it in a meeting. It's another thing to review the actual document that's going to be approved. I hope we agree on that.
Yeah,
And so when did the village get this agreement? I mean, when did we get it from our attorneys?
I was given a hard copy Wednesday night at the public hearing.
So I don't understand why it couldn't be scanned and emailed to
Then
the...
that's on me. There was some miscommunication then, because I was off Thursday and Friday, so I apologize for that.
It
That was
just
something
seemed-
that,
And it's okay, I mean, it's not all on you, I'm just saying, there's got to be a better way. It's not like we're approving a $500 donation to a local charity. This is a close to $2 million development agreement of public subsidy, public money, and it's a document that I literally haven't had time to read, even if I wanted to. So that's my first objection, okay? My second objection is, as I said before, we don't need to relitigate this, but I'm against I'll always be opposed to a system where some people pay taxes and some people don't, and the people that don't are just, for whatever reason, picked by the local municipality. Okay, it's a system of favorites, and I oppose that. If our tax rate is too high, if our property tax or sales tax rate is too high that we're discouraging businesses, let's have that discussion and lower the tax rate for everybody. But this idea where, you know, some restaurants have to pay property tax and sales tax and some don't, but all the residents do, but some businesses don't, it's a terrible foundation on which to build a village. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee Fuller. Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. So, Madam Clerk, would you, once again, this is for board approval of ordinance 2016-1483 as outlined by Trustee Cumming. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal.
Nay.
Mayor Allen.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Nay.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 5-2, the board has approved ordinance 2016-1483, the ordinance to accept the redevelopment agreement on 4500 North Prospect Road as outlined by Trustee Cumming. And Trustee Fuller, your concerns are fully understood, and we will endeavor to the best of our ability in the future to make sure that it isn't as rushed as sometimes these things seem.
Well, I appreciate that, but I guess at this point it doesn't matter. So.
Well, it matters because you did your democratic duty of voting no, and I understand that. But I just want you to let you know that we all understand, I'm speaking for myself, your concerns regarding this, and it seems like the bigger projects, we do end up under the gun, so to speak, trying to slide it through to get it done as fast as possible.
Well, we could do something about that.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that in the future, we will endeavor to do it in a different vein.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
All right. Our last order of new business tonight, we have a note from Craig Masters, who is resigning from the Zoning Board of Appeals, and need a motion from the board and a second to accept Craig's resignation with regret.
I move to accept Craig's resignation with regret.
Have a motion from Trustee Reichert,
Second.
second from Trustee Mariscal. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of accepting the resignation of Craig Masters from the Zoning Board of Appeals. We want to thank Craig for his service to the village, and we are accepting his resignation with regret. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you, the ayes have it. Again, we thank Craig. The board has accepted his resignation from the Zoning Board of Appeals, effective immediately. Next order of new business tonight is the payment of the bills Those will be read by our village clerk, Shauna Musselman.
This represents the bills as approved at the last departmental committee meeting. The total in the village accounts is $270,618.86. Total bills out of the waterworks account are $66,022.92.
Okay, we need a motion to
Move we pay the bill.
pay the bills. Have a motion from trustee Reichert,
Second.
second from trustee Cumming. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for the payment of the bills. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Carter? Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved the payment of the bills as read. Our next departmental committee meeting will be held Tuesday, September 27th at 6:30 p.m. The next Board of Trustees meeting will be held Tuesday, September 20th at 6:30 p.m. I'll be asking the board now to make a motion to go into executive session regarding personnel and property. Everyone is more than welcome to stay through the executive session, but all we will be doing is coming to the floor to adjourn the meeting properly at that time. At this time, we need a motion from the board to go into executive session for personnel and property.
I move that we adjourn to executive session.
Have a motion from trustee Cumming,
Second.
second from trustee Reichert. All those in favor of the board going into executive session at this time for personnel and property, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. We will now go into executive session, and we thank everyone for attending.